Hi guys, it's the Martini Drafter today, and we are going to be going through what we have got planned for the Noob Draft League in Glowpoke Division. We are the Heroes High Dragons this season. That is what we're going to be going as a name under, and the rules for this tournament are, it is a 120 points singles draft, meaning we've got 120 points to draft our entire team between 10 and 12 Pokemon. It is Gen 9 Nat Dex as a format, because it's a good format to use. I agree with it. Then I decided, why not make the team even more versatile than it's already planned to be? So we went with the max Pokemon we could use, as we picked 12 Pokemon, instead of the classic 11 or 10 that you tend to pick. Our first pick today was Heatran. Heatran is very bulky, extremely versatile, and it has a very good typing. Its trapping capabilities are very good with stuff like Magma Storm, Fire Spin, other various moves. It's also just a general menace. Its only real issue is that it's slow, which, as you can see with our higher tiers here, that's not really an issue later into the draft. And yeah, we can make up with it with other picks. Talking about versatile slow mons, we have Diancie. This thing is extremely bulky. It is 150 in each of the defenses. Obviously, it's 50 HP is not exactly nice. And it's got 100 in each of the attacks. That means it can hit very, very hard, especially with sets like Body Press. And it's very, very versatile with the sets it can run. It can run stuff like Meteor Beam sets to set up its special attack. It can run Diamond Storm, which boosts your defense by 2 stages 50% of the time, plus Body Press, which is very, very scary because it's 150 defense, this nasty number. And Clear Body, being its ability, is very nice because it stops people from lowering said defense or special attack or physical attack or anything you feel like running. Only problem is, once again, it's slow, and its typing makes it extremely weak to our steel types, like Heatran and this guy. Which, our next Pokemon is going to be Mega Pidgeot. Mega Pidgeot might seem like a weird pick to those of you who underestimate it. Surprisingly, its speed and special attack are better than Latias, and it was about 6 less points than it. Its defenses are a little bit worse. It's not meant to really be defensive though, like ever. Its only real purpose is to set up Tailwind, which is nice, be a good flying coverage. Normal coverage is always nice as well. It can always land Hurricanes because of No Guard. It's a good defog remover. It can use it can remove hazard abusers, essentially. And that is a big issue on this team, as you can see with the lack of Pokemon that get any sort of hazard removal. It's literally just Pidgeot. If my opponents are listening, please don't run hazards against me. That would be very, very, very mean. Now, our fourth pick is our Hydrapple. Hydrapple is also going back to the trend of slow and bulky Pokemon. It's slow and bulky. It hits very hard, and that is mostly what it does. Its Grass Dragon typing, honestly, is kind of underrated, I argue. Hydrapple's typing, it's only really weak to ice, really. It's got other weaknesses, but they're coverable, if you get what I mean. Super Sweet Syrup is a very good ability on Hydrapple if you feel like running stuff like Draco Meteor, Leaf Storm, and never missing. Because goddamn am I one of the unluckiest draft players you'll ever see, and I always miss moves. I did a match yesterday, and I missed 6 Hurricanes in a row. That was a very fun game for me. Next, you've got Regenerator, which is commonly a very good ability. You switch out, you get a third of your health back. And on a bulky mon like Hydrapple, you can't really chip away at it just in case I switch out. If I'm running like a setup set, I typically run Super Sweet Syrup. or Sticky Hold, which is an ability, it's mediocre. Then otherwise I'd run Regenerator because Regenerator is so good of an ability. Next up, we have got Crocodile as our next pick. Crocodile is a very scary Pokemon, especially in Draft League, because Moxie makes it a setup sweeper, Intimidate makes it an annoying support mon, plus it gets Stealth Rocks so it can be an annoying hazard setter. Its speed's really nice, its attack is brilliant, I love that attack stat, because this thing is meant to just sit here, pick up a kill, get a Moxie boost, sweep the rest of the team potentially, get rid of a couple more mons and die, leaving us in a very much advantageous position, or set up those Stealth Rocks to help us clean up kills later on in the game. Next pick we took was surprisingly Feraligatr, going with the Crocodiles again. Yes, it's a gator, who cares? Its ability Sheer Force is the main reason we took it, plus a nice bulky-ish water type is kind of necessary because of some of the Pokemon that are going to get drafted. That's 105 base attack stat is obviously nice to see, but Sheer Force boosting every hit it does that has a secondary effect is always very, very nice. The next pick we took is Cobalion. Cobalion is a very good pick for me, I think. Its steel typing makes it very annoying to kill. It's got a good defensive typing, essentially. Its physical defense is Iron Wall, unironically. Its HP is not bad. Its attack stats are also pretty nice. Main asset, though, is its speed. Its ability Justified is probably never coming up. In doubles, I would run it next to a beat-up mon. We don't have that in singles, which is why I prefer doubles. Why don't we move on to the next Pokemon? We've got our first Z Captain in Muck. For 5 points, Muck is a pretty good mon. It's very slow, yes, but its bulk speaks for itself. 105 HP, 100 special defense, and that 75 physical defense is not the end of the world since it gets stuff like Acid Armor to cover it. Stench is a decent ability. Sticky Hold, once again, is an okay ability, it's not very good. Poison Touch is what we're running most of the time, so we can get sneaky little poisons off. This thing's mainly here to just click Z Haze. If you didn't know what that does, it's basically Haze, but it fully heals you, which is ridiculous. It's 105 base attack. There's nothing to shake a stick at. This thing can put you in a very bad position very, very quickly. Our 9th pick, surprisingly going this late, it surprised me it was going this late, Kilowattrel. Fun thing, I got sniped from 3 electric types previously. Sandy Shocks was expected. It's Sandy Shocks, of course it's getting picked pretty early. Then we got Galvantula picked from us, which was a little bit more surprising, but once again, I'm quite a big fan of Galvantula in singles. Not overly surprising. Then we went for Jolteon, and that got sniped from us, which that I was a lot less happy about. So that was a fun time for me. I love getting sniped specifically on my electric types. Always a fun day when that happens. Kilowattrel up here, we'll talk about it more specifically now, don't worry. Competitive is a good answer to anything that's Intimidate. Any Intimidate mons, like Incineroar, was drafted pretty early, unsurprisingly. Bear in mind it was 10 points for an Incineroar. That's insane, but we don't talk about that. Volt Absorb is very good. It helps us with electric types a little bit better. It makes it a bit more support-based for moves like Tailwind. And then we've got Wind Power. Wind Power is a very, very good ability. It increases our speed. No, it doesn't. Sorry. It gives us the charge condition, which doubles the power of the next electric move used if Tailwind is up. This thing just sets up Tailwind with that base 125 speed, plus then it's got the speed boost from Tailwind, plus the Wind Power electric boost. Electro Ball genuinely does way too much damage. Literally an Electro Ball from this thing, without it being max speed, nearly OHKO'd a mega, especially defensive, Mega Aggron. It was insane. This thing can do a lot of damage, or it can be very, very good support-wise. Next, we've got Miss Magius, who is our other Z captain, because I had no better options on me. And it's honestly pretty good. Miss Magius, you typically see it running setup Z moves, like Lucky Chant, to help boost it a bit, get those mediocre stats up. That 105 special attack is always nice. These first 3 stats are not so nice, though. We can help cover for that physical defense, though, with this speed to help kill things, special defense to help tank a couple of things. It's a generally useful mon, plus it gives us more immunities to ground because it's funny, and Heatran is very weak to ground. So basically Heatran's just here to cause problems. Very good status support. It's a pretty good Pokemon. Don't sleep on Miss Magius. Uxie is our 11th pick. Talking about versatile, bulky, fast, it's perfect for this team. Levitate as well. We got another Levitate mon, guys. We got so many of those, it's ridiculous. Equaling 2, plus 2 flying types. Ground is just not very good into us since Terra is in fact banned. Its speed is pretty fast. It's pretty mediocre in my speed tiers. Obviously 92 is the median, being Crocodile, but it's still pretty fast. It's still faster. Its 130 defenses are basically just a slightly worse version of Diance's, except it doesn't have paper thin HP. It doesn't hit as hard, but it can hit pretty hard. If you don't notice it's attacking, it can leave you in danger. This thing's mainly going to be used, though, as hazards and pivoting, status. It could be a sweeper, though. It could be a very, very good sweeper, especially with stored power. Then, finally, we've got Basculin, which, let's not sleep on White Skin Basculin. That thing is not bad at all. I only really had 4 points left and wanted a water type, and it seemed like the best option, despite Kingler being there, Relicanth. It seemed like the best option, and I still stand by it because it can use Eviolite. And it's faster, it's a decent mon. You shouldn't sleep on adaptability with a 92 attack stat. 98 is nothing to sneeze at with speed. That is faster than my Uxie, my Crocodile. It's very, very fast, surprisingly, for a first stage Pokemon. And that was what we've got drafted. Now we'll go through the type chart and what kind of works well against us. So, normal is just a non-issue with the amount of steel types we've got. With the ghost type, the rock type, it's not an issue, and it's normal, it's not good offensively anyway. Grass, non-issue. Heatran is insane. We've got multiple quad resists. It's not even a competition, is grass. Water, however, very big issue. It counters Heatran and Diancie, as you can see up here. However, we've got Pokemon like Hydrapple and Kilowattrel that do pretty well against it. Obviously, Kilowattrel doesn't resist it, but if we're talking about resistances, Feraligatr and Basculin both exist. Fire, not an issue, because we've got multiple Pokemon that can just deal with fire types. Bear in mind, Crocodile is not even resistant to fire, and we've still got a +3. That is really, really good. Next up, we have Electric. Electric was an issue during team building, but it's not anymore because Crocodile, Hydrapple, and Kilowattrel just make it so it's a risk to click it. To click an electric move. Ground, once again, the amount of Levitate and Electric type mons the amount of Levitate and Flying type mons we've got in this team are ridiculous. It's just a risky move to click because we can just get a free switch in majority of the time. Rock might look like an issue, but bear in mind, water doesn't resist rock for some reason, and we are we're good for rock. It's not an issue. It's a non-issue typing. Bear in mind, not even Hydrapple resists it. For some reason, it's only Crocodile that resists rock. It's weird. Rock's a weird typing in terms of resistances. It's just not an issue. Flying, it's not the biggest issue in the world. We've got Kilowattrel to counter it pretty well. and we've got our first 2 Pokemon that resist it, one of which being very good against it. Ice is probably the biggest issue we've got with our team. Though, let's be real here, Ice is probably the worst. It's inarguable. It's the worst defensive typing in the game because it only resists itself. It is such a bad defensive typing that it is ridiculous. So if we can't just hit it with stuff like Heatran, Diancie, then we can just kill it with some general moves. Anything's going to kill most ice types. It's good against a bit of our team, so ice coverage could be annoying, but I don't think it's an issue. Bundle's like the only scary ice type we've got to run into. And then we've got fighting type. Fighting type, not an issue because of the amount of Pokemon, because of some of the Pokemon we've got. Poison, Bug, Psychic, Dark, Ghost, Dragon, Steel. None of them are an issue. As you can see when looking at these differentials down here, none of those typings are ever an issue. It's +4 in some of them, 2s, 1s, yeah, there's a 0 in Ghost, but Ghost is not an issue for me at all. Then we've got Fairy. Let me make this quote clear. Fairy is scary. Fairy is a very, very scary typing. We've only got 2 Pokemon with Fairy, yes, but we've only got 2 Pokemon that are resisting it, one of which is quad resisting, yes, and we can hit super effectively with Cobalion as well, but it's still a pretty scary typing. We can deal with it with coverage and the sort, but it's still a scary typing to go up against. Overall, I think our team is drafted pretty well. It's versatile as hell. It just makes it very hard to prepare for. I could be running just about anything with this team. Hell, I could run physical Heatran, and it would make no difference to the fight. I'm happy with this team. I'll see you in week 1. Goodbye.